IVM.
Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach Podcast, the bite-sized podcast filled with quick and easy actionable habits. Remember, great habits create that awesome life. I am Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach. And today's fun fact of the day has to do with weird insurance claims. Did you know that the singer Tom Jones once took out an insurance policy on his chest hair? Now that's strange enough. But did you know that the insurance claim was for $7 million? $7 million for your chest hair. And here we're busy wondering if we should insure our homes or not. Now, to top that, J-Lo has a $27 million policy on her butt. Now, some of us might say that's worth every cent, but if you got it, flaunt it, right? Anyway, another funny story about insurance was a man who was trying to rob someone's house. He had broken in and then managed to get trapped in the person's house for a week because the garage door was not open. He survived on dog food and drinking soda. After the couple came back, he sued them for mental anguish and he won that case. The insurance company ended up paying him $1 million for trying to rob somebody and getting stuck in their house. Can you imagine what's going on? But actually, one of my favorite insurance claims comes from the movie called Indiana Jones. It's one of, those franchises that are so popular. One day on the set, while filming a scene in the jungle, these actors have shot with an elephant. Now, after this adventurous shot, the actress's clothes were put to dry on a branch. The elephant, now hungry, goes and eats these expensive costumes. Now, that costume director had to file an insurance claim stating eaten by elephants. Now, imagine that insurance executive that got that message and had to decide whether to pay that claim or not. One of my favorite Indiana Jones scenes is from the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark. There is this scene where he has to steal this golden idol from a tomb. But the problem is that it's resting on a pressure-sensitive stand. If the idol is lifted, the whole temple will collapse, killing everyone. So Indiana Jones gets his bag of sand and tries to get the weight exactly the same as the golden icon. He then very carefully, patiently waits and then quickly replaces the golden icon with that bag of sand. In the movie, of course, after a brief pause of him feeling very successful and that he managed it, the whole temple collapses. But interestingly, our habits function the same way. If you see our lives, they are nothing but a set of daily habits all strung together. It is these routines and rituals that creates and forms our life. If we remove a habit, the chances of our lives falling apart are very high, just like in the movie. If we remove a habit, we have to replace it with another habit that is equally important or essential, or another habit that gives us the same benefit of the first. And this is why so many people find it difficult to just delete habits. This is because habits cannot be just deleted. They have to be swapped or replaced. Say, for example, you want to stop sitting in front of the TV after dinner. If you try to stop that habit, you will fail because you will not know what else you can replace it with. What can that time be replaced with? Instead, you have to swap that habit with something else, like going for a walk with a lover or an audiobook or the Habit Coach podcast. Some of those things. Now, say if you want to give up your after dinner chocolates, you replace them with something healthier, or you replace them by brushing your teeth immediately after a meal, so that this helps you get rid of that need for something sweet in your mouth. We often think of habits as individual pieces, but they are all interconnected. You have to replace them with care and understanding if you want them to work perfectly. So next time you want to change a habit in your life, remember, you can't just walk in and pick up a habit and walk out. You have to be like Indiana Jones. Carefully weigh that habit and then swap it out.
Usually in a podcast, it's me who speaks to you and you who listens. But I've been seeing your comments and it's time. It's me listening to you. Following the overwhelming success of this podcast, the good folks at IVM Podcast Network have decided to come up with a Kannada adaptation of the show for those who prefer listening to it in that language. Do make sure you let your Kannada speaking friends know about this as well.
Now, if you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am at Ashdin Doc on Twitter and Instagram. We have a brand new habit coaching online course, quizzes, videos, and a lot more on the website awesome180.com. So check it out now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On IVM Likes, Abbas, Nehil, and Antrix do a pop culture roundup for the month of June. On Cyrus Says, with Cyrus vacationing in Spain and so not available on the episode, Kajol, Akash, Antrix, and Abbas share their paranormal experiences. On Misconduct, Ragvi and Nisha tell us the life story of Ma Anand Sheela. On The Longest Constitution, Priya takes a look at how the censor board shaped the iconic film Sholay. And on Postcards from Nowhere, Utsav tells us how Lost Treasures, Dynamite, and the Irish Nation are all connected. And just a reminder to everybody, the IVM merchandise is now available. You can go to the IVM Podcast website and click on the shop tab. Check out our first collection of t-shirts. Also, do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And I'd like to remind you all that it is really, really helpful for us when you do recommend this show or any of our other shows to a friend. Word of mouth is great for us, and it's really a great way for us to grow our audience and have more people for you to discuss your podcast consumptions with. Also, don't forget to rate us on any platform you're listening on, and you can also check us out on YouTube at ivmpodcast.com/YouTube. We have a list of the YouTube channels we are on. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Capgemini, Intel vPro, and Intel Future Banal Wonderful. Thank you so much for making this possible. There's a quick survey to fill out on ivmpodcast.com/survey. It lets us know a little bit more about who's listening to us. And you know what? We're going to do a few prizes. So, we'll do a random drawing of maybe 10 people and we'll send you all some swag. Remember, that's ivmpodcast.com/survey where you can fill out the survey.